Greetings to all. And in this video, I want to share with you an analysis of the impressive picture of the flying carpet, painted by Vasnetsov. In an unusual and unique genre. Viktor Mikhailovich Vasnetsov is a great Russian artist who lived and worked in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The painter began his career with the depiction of various everyday scenes. But in all likelihood, the fairy tale world inspired the artist much more. And here it is easy to understand, because the fantasy world is more limitless and flexible. So he moved on to magical plots, and became the founder of the fabulous epic genre. The flying carpet is one of the first creations of the artist in such a subject. In 1878 year, the grand opening of the Donetsk coal railway, the construction of which was carried out at the expense of Mamontov, took place. He decided to decorate the interiors of the board with paintings, and offered to write them to Vasnetsov, choosing any plot of interest to him. The artist, in turn, decided that the composition should contain motifs referring to the work of the Donetsk and railway, and the past of this region, and also had to embody a fabulously fast way of transportation. And so the carpet plane canvas appeared. But as a result, Mamontov could not appreciate the whole subtle allegory, and did not place the picture. The flying carpet was painted in 1880 year with the use of oil technique on canvas, and today is located in the Nizhny Novgorod State Art Museum. At the first glance at the picture, a sense of rapid flight is read, which at the time of the artist could only be achieved in the imagination, and Vasnetsov makes his painting believe in the impossible. By the way, the first airplane will be invented literally 2 years after writing this picture. But it will be able to conquer the celestial space only in 20 years. Legends or mythological tales about the magic carpet came to Russian culture from the Middle East. But they fell in love so much in Russia that they quickly entered many folk tales. Delving into the consideration of the picture, we see a fairy tale plot with characters familiar to us from childhood. The canvas tells us the story of Ivan Tsarevich, who, according to the plot of a Russian fairy tale, goes after a firebird that shamelessly stole apples in the royal garden. And we see that his difficult mission has been accomplished. He triumphantly holds in his hands a large cage in which a captured fairy tale bird is sitting. Baba Yaga gave the flying carpet to Ivan Tsarevich. Having known her psychological profile since childhood, it was clearly barter. Ivan stands firmly and confidently on such a seemingly shaky surface, as if all his life he did nothing but dissect on carpets. Over the vast expanses of Mother Russia, he confidently looks ahead in anticipation of a solemn return home. Here the artist drew all the elements of the Tsarevich's costume in great detail and with great love for folk art. A worn kaftan with a tear on the sleeve tells us about the hero's difficult journey. A saber with a sparkling hilt gives the young man a brave militancy, and the golden cage of the firebird is decorated with dragons and elaborate ornaments. The airplane carpet itself is depicted with a bright pattern in an unusual angle and resembles a huge soaring bird, rather than an artificial interior item. The entire surrounding landscape is intentionally made by the artist in muted dull gray-green tones. Bringing us back to reality, it seems to be opposed to the main fantastic plot. We see that the landscape looks frozen, the mirror surface of the river and the trees standing dejectedly below. And only the owl accompanying the main character brings dynamics and liveliness to the depicted nature, and also hints at the pre-dawn hours of the action taking place. Everything happens in the early morning, smoothly dissolving the moon in the cloudy sky, and Prince Ivan seems to break into a new day, leaving behind his long and painful wanderings. In this way, the author gives us a feeling of joy and pride for the main character. Here the young and brave Ivan symbolizes a person's hopes for a bright future. Vasnetsov's painting is quite symbolic. According to the artist himself, this composition was supposed to express freedom and movement, but, as we can see, not everyone in the picture is free. The firebird, shining like the sun, still languishes in forced imprisonment, unaware of its future fate. Perhaps this is another reference to the harsh reality, where one has to resort to sacrifices for one's own freedom and a better life. Vasnetsov's work The Flying Carpet is a kind of support for people's faith in a bright future, which the artist conveyed through the fabulousness and fantasticism of his work. Shortly before his death, The artist will again turn to the image of the airplane carpet, but it will be a completely different picture. There will be no firebird and rapid movement forward, but a beautiful princess will appear, enclosed in the warm embrace of Ivan Tsarevich. The picture contrasts with the first version of the airplane carpet. Romance and peace prevail here, and the main storyline is love, as the highest good and reward that a brave young man could get. Having survived the difficult turning years of the Vasnetsov Civil War, the serene flight of lovers in the pink, gloomy sky reflects the finding of peace and long-awaited happiness. I will be glad of your ratings and comments. Be sure to share your feedback and subscribe to my channel to not miss the tutorials, the best works of world art.